Hello everyone. So in this video I'm going to do the reveal of the workshop. This is kind of like my mood board, I guess you could say, in a roundabout way. Some of these things I have used over and over again, and I just like these paper pads by Prima, especially this one because it just works with so many things that I like to do. It's got this neutral background and I love it. I use it a lot, and I know you guys have seen it in your kits probably a lot, but it's just one that I can't get enough of it. So yes, we'll be using this probably again. I picked up this belt at the thrift store. I thought it would be fun to take and incorporate this maybe on the spine of the folio. So if you're out and about at a thrift store and you see an old belt or something like this that you could use for the spine of your album. The other thing that you could do is at the Dollar Tree. I picked this up a while ago. I don't even know if they still have this at the Dollar Tree, but it's this faux leather. And I was going to see if I could take this, because it's pretty thin, and run it through an embossing folder and see if I can emboss this. So that might be something else, a different direction that we could go in creating the spine of our cover, or even just incorporating part of this on the cover with this. So that's kind of this color palette that I'm going with. Now the theme of this, I think some of you have already discovered it, is a Sherlock Holmes theme. I know some of you may not be into Sherlock Holmes, so the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to do two options as I'm going through the folio. One can be more of a grungy butterfly theme, and then you can just follow along with me if you want to do the Sherlock theme. And some of the papers that I have done, because I did finish part of the digital kit, and I will be working on hopefully finishing most of it in the next few days. These are some of the digital papers, and again, you know, if you're not into the Sherlock Holmes thing, you could maybe just cut this part off, and you could put something over this right here, like a butterfly or something, and make it so it's not a specific theme. But I really was so inspired after watching Young Sherlock Holmes, the series on Amazon Prime. Oh God, I loved that series. I was so inspired by it that I wanted to do this fun Sherlock Holmes album. And then of course I have the girl, which would have been his sister in the film, but even though Sherlock really never had a sister, I had to put a feminine character in there, and so I came up with this lady, and then there's the staircase. I did take some quotes from the actual Sherlock books, and so this says, like, to Sherlock Holmes, she is always the woman. So I tried to kind of incorporate that in, and it says, you have frequently seen the steps which lead up from the hall to this room. So I was really putting a lot of thought into this, and, you know, I hope all of you can see the fun, creative elements that I put into these designs. It was a lot of fun. Here's another one. Again, the color palettes, you can kind of see these beautiful jewel tones is what I'm going for. This is the Study in Scarlet. You see the butterflies. The film strips, that's another thing I'm going to incorporate a lot in this folio. So there's a few of the papers. I still have more to do. This is one of the backgrounds. I did a vellum in this, and this just has those beautiful, you can see a little bit of the plaid coming through, and some tapestries, some houndstooth. And so I wanted that combination of kind of a masculine but yet feminine look, and that is about as far as I've gotten with the collection so far. The thing that I really spent a lot of time on was the ephemera and the clusters. And for those of you who received a kit, you will have seen the clusters in your kits. There was different cluster packs included in each kit. And so these are an example of one that you received. This is the Moriarty one, and all of this goes together. So in your packet that you received, you will see that we will be able to make a cluster with all of the pieces. They were designed that way, and you kind of see when we're setting up our page, when we create our pocket, all of this will, you know, work. I can't remember exactly how I had it, but you can kind of see. It just creates a neat little cluster. And so all these pieces we will be using to create our page. Now I'm just kind of throwing stuff on here just to show you a little bit, but yes, you will receive one of these cluster packs in your kit. I will be offering the packets of these, the physical cluster packs, for purchase. So if you're not wanting to do all that intricate cutting, I will have those available. There is a lot of clusters in the digital pack. So you get the ones that are already put together, create little pockets, and then you get this in separate elements. Here we go. So you get, like, see, that's that piece, and then that is that piece. And trying to see, this is all just kind of thrown in here. I don't know if I can find all the pieces to it, but here's some that were put together, and you can see they made these neat little clusters with the elements that come in the cluster ephemera pack. And again, this will be available in digital format, and I will have the physical packs available as well. But you know, you're just going to get all these little elements to create all these clusters. And I do not have them all cut out. This is just a little sampling. When you receive your separate elements, like for example, here's this piece, which is that piece there, and then you have this piece here, which is that piece there. Here's a butterfly. There's the wax seal, and then you have the London. So you can pop these up and make them more 3D like, and you can copy it based on this cluster, or you could do like my cousin did and do something totally different. It's up to you. Well, here's like an example of one. So this is how, I can't remember, I think this was in the deluxe kit, and you will have received some trims, and you have your cluster here, but then inside of this envelope is all the pieces to create this cluster. And that's how it showed in your kit. And then we're going to have some fun with trims and add some of those in as well. And then there was other ones that, you know, you would have received. Let's see, this one has these pieces in it, which is the one that I was showing. And I didn't want everything to be too matchy-matchy, if that makes sense. I wanted it to have some different patterns and things to it, but I wanted these deep, beautiful colors at the same time. So we're going to have some fun just making some beautiful clusters. Here's another cluster that I didn't show. There's quite a few, and I just, you know, these all got so messed up. Here's another one with Sherlock. And again, you're going to receive the entire cluster and then the separate pieces to make this cluster. So like here's one of the pieces from here, and then you have everything that you need to rebuild it. And I just think it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. I cannot wait to get started on this. And the mechanism, oh, I'm working on the mechanism. I think it's going to be fun. It's nothing new. It's something that's been done before, but it's just kind of a new take, new spin on something that I think will be incorporated pretty cool with this theme. And so yeah, that will be coming up in the first part of the workshop. Okay, so I showed you the clusters and everything, and I showed you kind of my vision of textures and colors and patterns and things that inspired me in creating this project that we're working on. So I wanted to show you the start of the project. And I wasn't originally going to include this in the video, but I'm going to insert it in and show you where this is going, or where it's going to start. And I did create this little mechanism. Now I've seen others do this same sort of mechanism with this pop-up. And one of the things that I liked about this mechanism is I always had this in mind to do this clock, kind of a broken clock, and then the Viewmaster. And I wanted it to spin. And then of course the butterfly. I did create this little mechanism here on the cover. And I really wanted this whole album to be filled with a lot of different sorts of interactive sections to it. Now I'll probably have to widen the spine here, but this is just a prototype, and so I just wanted to show you the start of it. And I definitely love this as the cover. I think that this is just eye-catching and it's fun, and I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. I might attach a little metal embellishment here. I'm not sure. And there's probably a little more that I will want to do around the Viewmaster section and the clock. I thought it'd be fun to take the Stamperia contour in the gold and kind of go around and embellish certain areas. I think that that would just look beautiful, and so that's probably the next thing I'm going to do. But in the first part of the workshop, I am going to show you how to create this, and I do have the listing for the digital, and in that digital you will receive a folder that will contain all these pieces for the mechanism. And so if you don't have a kit, you'll still be able to create this by getting the digital kit. For those of you who do have the kit, as we progress, you'll be able to add those embellishments to the spine or to the back section of the album, and of course all the elements that we're going to be putting inside of this album. I was just really excited to show you the first parts of this, and I think it's turning out pretty cool so far. I'm really excited to add those additional embellishments to this and just take it to another level. But there's a little intro of the first part of the workshop is going to be creating this cover and this mechanism. I think it's going to be lots of fun, and I hope you will be joining me in creating this. So just be on the lookout. I'll be working on videos for the workshop, and then I will be doing some haul videos, and then I'll be showing some of the orders and everything that I got while I was at Craft Utopia. Just lots of things in the works. Oh, I've been staying up till 2 and 3 in the morning trying to get caught up on everything. So it's just been crazy, but it's nice to be back. It's always nice to be back in the studio. I so enjoy spending this time with you to sit and create, and it's so much fun. I do appreciate all of you and your understanding while I was out and away. Alright, so there's some of the clusters and the paper designs. These are one of the things that I got. I thought these were perfect. So these are the framed butterflies, and if you had seen the Young Sherlock Holmes series, and if you haven't, oh, I highly recommend it. It was so good. Anyway, you'll see why these are incorporated and where the inspiration came from if you've watched that series. And I thought these just tied in perfectly. So I did include some of these in the kit, and I will be using some of these to embellish things here and there. I think this was in the deluxe kit. You got this packet and it's just filled with a bunch of ephemera. And you got the film strips, you got some fun papers to collage with. So I tried to make sure there was a lot. There's some tags. You got the film strip. You got these nice heavy cardstock ephemera pieces, vellum, different sorts of receipts. So I just try to coordinate in a lot of different papers that we can use for creating pockets or decorating envelopes, decorating some journal pages, just to add some interest. But you can see I jam-pack it full of ephemera. Got some frames, the butterflies, and then there's those die cuts that I was talking about. And then you get a little pack here. This is just filled with more smaller pieces of ephemera. So some tickets, things like that. Some tabs. I try to make sure you are getting a lot. Even in the monthly kit, I don't remember exactly. Oh, it's all a blur because I was working on so many things so fast. I will be sending out the monthly kit, and I will be getting ready to send out another quarterly kit. So there is one of the little packets that came in one of the kits. Again, I think this was the deluxe kit. I could be wrong. Alright, moving on. I'm going to continue to show you more of the things that I was inspired by. I had been going through cleaning up my studio after putting stuff away from camping, and yeah, I found some things. Like there is this stamp, the packaging. It's not the best packaging, but in here, this stamp is so old. This stamp is probably like 15 years old. And this is where, you know, when I go to create those kits, I might just stamp up enough of these so you all will have this stamped image for your kit. But it's this big, beautiful butterfly. And I don't know if you can see it. And so I thought it'd be fun to use this stamp. It's just something I found. I haven't used it in so long, and so I thought I would use that. Some other things are these fabric upholstery samples. I thought these would be fun to use when we're making our snippets or certain parts of the cover. I thought a patchwork cover might look kind of neat. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I got these gold tones because in the designs, as you can see, there is a lot of these gold accents throughout the designs, and so I thought that those would look nice together. And I did include some of these fabric samples in the kits. Some of them, it's kind of neat. Like some of these are made in Italy. This one is made in Italy. This one's USA. I mean, these are good fabrics here. This is USA. So yeah, I thought it was kind of fun when I found these sample books. These are going to be fun to play with. So I put some of those in the kits. Some other things that I added in were some papers. again, you're going to see various papers in your kits and maybe some baggies that's in here. So you get some of the butterflies. I think this came in the monthly, which is a little smaller. And then, you know, we got some flowers and things like that that I thought would tie in well with some of the paper designs. So it's a little bit of florals, a little bit of butterflies. You have that mix between the masculine and feminine images. But I wanted that old vintage look to it. So there's some of these script papers that I'll be using. The film strips, I mentioned the film strips and I showed you some that I included. I have some frames that I also included. I thought these would be fun to add in. So for example, in our paper design we have her. I thought she was so pretty. But I might take and create a ephemera piece with her, and I thought we could use some of the frames and just kind of frame that and create a neat little pocket with her. So I have some frames that were included in your kits. These are from 49 and Market. I love these frames. Here's some of the trims that you got. I think these were included in the deluxe pack, but you just get a little sampling of some of these trims. And again, I think you can see I really put a lot of thought into coordinating all of these fabrics together. And again, I cannot wait. So you got a little piece of the houndstooth. You got some of this black and white floral. We got some of the purples. And then we had some brown plaids and some green. And of course, we've got some of the black and cream roses along with some ivory trim. So you had a little sample pack of trims come in your kit as well. Another thing that I thought I would use, this is something that I found, boy, I've had this for years. I gotta use up some of this stuff. I might throw some of these papers in the upcoming monthly kit. This is Die Cuts with View. It's an older paper pad, but I just love it, and I think it ties in really good with this collection, so I might incorporate some of these papers. And then I also added in some 12 by 12 papers, just to kind of show you some of them. So we had these. And so I had some papers like that, some 12 by 12s, kind of along, you know, these neutral mauve tones and cream tones. I showed you the burlap. I have to have the burlap in there. And then I did put in some of this film strip washi. So some of that came in the kit as well. So I'm hoping you can get a good visual of how this might look in a folio, and I just can't wait. I think it's going to be beautiful, stunning. I love the different floral patterns, but I love the houndstooth and the plaids kind of combined. And I love the metals mixed in with feminine and grunge, and I just think it's going to be so much fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be back very soon to start on our folio. I will have the listing down below for the digital, and I will have the listing for the physical cluster packs as well. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're going to be doing the workshop with me. I would love to have you join in, and I hope to have the first parts published and done next week. So be on the lookout for it. It's going to be so much fun. If you liked this video, please take a moment to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Help me get this channel growing so I can do more videos and more projects. The more this grows, the more I can do. Again, I'll have all the information listed below, and I'll see you all back very soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching.